In this video, we will begin to explore one of the most integral elements of a business, human resources. We will discuss exactly what this important key term can mean, and why it is so important when it comes to the success of an enterprise. To start with, let's understand what we mean by the term human resources, or HR as it's often referred to. The first meaning is the people, the humans, who work for a business, whose skills and abilities are used by the business as resources to deliver the products or services that it provides. So, for a company like Amazon, its human resources are all the people who work for the business, doing jobs such as packing orders, delivering those orders to customers, cleaning the warehouse, designing the advertisements, looking after the website, and dealing with payments from the customer. To all the teachers out there, show all of these videos without any ads and gain access to our growing library of over 500 teaching worksheets. Why not visit BizzWizard.co.uk to find out more? The second meaning of human resources is the function or department within a business which is responsible for all staff-related issues. They try to make sure that the business can continue to operate with the people that it has. You may know someone who works in HR without knowing exactly what they actually do. The HR department's responsibilities make for a huge list and include recruitment. This means hiring people to do specific jobs and making sure they are the right person with the right skills to do that particular job. They also handle payroll, which involves making sure that people are paid the right amount for the work that they have completed and that they receive this at the agreed time. They will also manage all of the staff training and development opportunities within the business. This will include induction training, which staff receive when they begin their job, and many other types of training, which we will discuss in other videos. They monitor staff performance, and they will enforce disciplinary procedures when necessary. In many careers, employees will need to meet certain performance targets, and if this is not achieved, then they may find themselves being monitored by HR more closely. The human resource team will also deal with people who are leaving employment for reasons like retirement, moving to another job, illness or maternity leave. Finally, it is this function's responsibility to ensure the business is operating legally when it comes to people issues, such as taxes, discrimination, and employment law. So, let's introduce Phoebe Tompson. She is the HR manager for Dynamo Games Ltd, a successful UK-based video game production business making RPG games for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Dynamo Games employs around 30 people in a range of different capacities. Phoebe and her team are responsible for hiring people to work in the business, and for making sure they have a proper induction when they start, so they know what their responsibilities are and who they will be reporting to. Her team will also organise all the training, and are responsible for making sure that staff are paid on time, that the right taxes are paid on their wages, and that they are treated fairly and legally. She will often work with other managers if there are any performance or disciplinary issues, and will also handle the circumstances around any member of staff leaving Dynamo. If I was lucky enough to get a job as a new employee at Dynamo Games, Phoebe and the HR department would be involved in arranging my interview, and one for all the other ambitious candidates, offering the job to the successful candidate, hopefully me, providing me with important details of how much I'll be paid and when the money will hit my bank. Phoebe and her team will arrange any training I need before I can get started. As many game development companies use their own in-house software, this training could be extensive. The HR team will be responsible for making sure I know what the rules are, and probably more importantly, what happens if I were to break them. Once I am settled into my exciting new role, I will still deal with human resources often. They will be responsible for making sure I know how I am performing in my job and what I need to do to improve, especially if I am hoping to get a promotion. They will handle my payroll for the entire time that I work at Dynamo, ensuring I get paid as expected and that the right amount of taxes are paid to the government. Phoebe's team must make sure that I am always treated fairly and in line with the UK employment laws. If a business is found to be treating workers unfairly, this is likely to fall on the shoulders of the HR team. Finally, if the sad day ever came when I decided to leave Dynamo Games, the team would deal with ending my employment and finding a shiny new replacement. As you can see, the HR team plays an extremely important role in the running of Dynamo Games. Don't forget that all of these things are just to manage me, one single employee, but Phoebe and her team have over 30 employees, and in a business the size of Amazon, this would be hundreds of thousands of employees. Bring this video and over 100 more to life with fun, interactive games, quizzes and case studies. Why not try the first 25 completely free by visiting BizzWizard.co.uk. As the Human Resources Department is dealing with people who do jobs in every part of the business, it's really important that HR work with the other areas of the business to plan ahead, to make sure the business can operate and deliver its products or services to its customers in order to make a profit. The Human Resources Department will need to work with other departments to understand the number of staff who are needed, and just as importantly, what skills are required. At Dynamo Games, Phoebe will work with the other managers in the business to understand what skills are needed, from programmers, designers, finance staff, and the marketing team, in order to produce and sell its games to the consumer. The Human Resources Department all work very closely with the finance function of a business to ensure that they stay within their employment budget, how much they can actually afford to spend on paying their staff. This might affect the number of people who can be employed by the business, and the salary or wage that they can be paid. Phoebe and the HR department will also need to consider the type of job contracts that staff are offered. Many businesses need to be flexible, so they have enough staff at busy times, but don't have too many people working at quiet times. Contracts might be full-time or part-time, permanent or temporary. Part-time and temporary jobs may allow the business to have extra people at busy times, such as weekends or Christmas. We will look in more detail at these different ways of working in future videos. Where people work is also an important factor to consider. Some jobs will need to be done in a specific place. So at Amazon, a person who is employed to pack orders at the warehouse will need to go into the warehouse to do their job. But someone who is employed to design advertisements may work mainly in a company office, but might be encouraged to work from home some of the time. Each of the video courses over at BizzWizard.co.uk also includes an interactive business case study that applies the knowledge learned to a real-world scenario. There are over 1,000 multiple-choice questions, each with detailed feedback, which tests students' understanding of the content. Why not visit BizzWizard.co.uk to find out more? The Human Resources Department will also need to understand the structure of the business, so that they know who will manage and supervise staff to ensure that the work gets done. This also means that each member of staff knows who will be telling them which tasks they need to complete, and how their performance will be measured. If Dynamo Games Limited moves into selling mobile games, games on phones and tablets, then Phoebe will need to work with other managers within the business to understand whether this change will mean that they need to employ people with different skills to ensure these new games can actually be developed effectively. Finally, as we have already mentioned, Phoebe in the HR department has one of the most important responsibilities within a business, making sure that the business is operating legally when it comes to managing its staff. This includes making sure that everyone is paid at least the minimum wage, that all taxes are paid properly, that employees are not discriminated against at work, for example because of their gender or their ethnic background. Any breaches of these employment laws can have serious implications, including permanent damage to brand image, and in some cases substantial fines. We've seen that the phrase human resources can refer to all the people who work in a business, or simply to the department which is responsible for all staff-related issues. It's really important that the Human Resources Department works closely with the rest of the business to make sure that it has the right people, in the right place, at the right time, so that the business can deliver its products or services to its customers in the hopes of making a profit. This has been the BizzWizard. See you in the next video.